Hello, my name is Josh Atherton. I'm the Executive Director of the Education Foundation for the St. Vrain Valley. This is our post-race video for the Sunrise Stampede, and I just want to take a moment to thank all of our participants, all of our supporters, our businesses who sponsored the event. I just want to thank you all for everything that you did for this race. As many of you know, this race raises money for our special needs program in St. Vrain Valley Schools, and specifically for teacher innovation grants. And without all of you, there's no way the Education Foundation could do what we do. Also want to thank Paula Nelson and Sean Corey, our co-chairs, our committee. Want to thank our superintendent, Dr. Don Haddad, his staff, administrators, teachers, students, and families for making this district for what it is, which is a great school district, and really commend you all for what you do on behalf of our schools. Thank you very much and enjoy the video. Really happy to welcome a couple guests here to talk a little bit about the Sunrise Stampede. First, to my right, we have John Creighton here, who is the CEO and president of High Plains Bank. That covers all of Colorado. High Plains Bank is headquartered here in Longmont and is a great supporter of the Education Foundation. John, welcome.
Thank you.
Good to have you here.
Good to be here, Josh.
Next, we have Joey Segrist, who is to John's right here. Joey is a great supporter of the Education Foundation, and she just happens to be our current board president for the Board of Education. Joey, welcome.
Thanks, Josh.
It's good to have you here.
It's nice to see you, John.
Good to see you.
Now, both of you, as you know, we're wearing masks right now, so apologize for maybe the muffled sound here, but I'm really happy that we can get in person here to talk about this fantastic event, the Sunrise Stampede. And I think what separates maybe this event from all other events from the standpoint of why you two are here is, Joey, you served as chair of the Sunrise Stampede in the past. John, you served as chair of the Sunrise Stampede in the past as well. John actually is a past president of the St. Vrain Valley Schools Board of Education as well. And I'm just curious, why is it important for both of you to serve your community, not only with the Sunrise Stampede, but just in general, but also, why is it important to serve as chair of the Sunrise Stampede, and what does this event mean to both of you? Joe, maybe I'll start with you.
Great. You asked a few questions in there, Josh, so I'm just going to...
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just going to throw a bunch of questions towards you. Is that okay?
Right. So, you know, when I was growing up, it was definitely my family modeled for me that serving our community was very important. And I know that there are a variety of ways that an individual can serve their community. For me, that passion lies in children and public education. I believe that personally there's no better way to support the future success of not only those children's lives, but our community, our local community, our state, and ultimately our nation. It truly, truly is, in my mind, the best way that you can impact the future. My volunteering for the Sunrise Stampede is exactly reflective of that same belief. You know, there's nothing more rewarding, I suppose, for me on a personal level. While serving on the board and volunteering to chair the Stampede brings me a lot of personal satisfaction. It's nice that it lies in seeing the success of other people and putting the greater good first, and really being able to step back and ask yourself what's best for the children of St. Vrain and what's best for our community. And the Sunrise Stampede is an opportunity for a whole group of us to come together and do that and benefit those children in the district with disabilities. So,
well, thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
And you're also a runner too.
That
helps.
Yeah. This year I'll be participating virtually in the Sunrise Stampede.
And we'll talk more about that. But
yeah.
You also had a great committee of volunteers as well helping out too, right? And that was important for you.
Oh, an outstanding committee. And, you know, those people are obviously, you know, John and members from the bank, but they're also teachers, principals, Laura Hess, who's the executive director of special education. They're all volunteering to make this event possible. And so it's so much fun to come together. Sponsors, it really is a community effort to support our schools and support children and teachers.
Well, thank you again for your service. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
John, what does it mean to you to serve in the community, but also to serve as a chair for the Sunrise Stampede?
So, like Joey, a lot of this stems from just how I grew up. So I grew up in a town of 1,600 people. And in a town of 1,600 people, you can't get anything done unless the community works together to get things done, kind of at every level. You know, unless everyone participates, then you can't do things. So I was a 105-pound freshman that personally was recruited by the head football coach to come hold tackling dummies, because you can't have a football team unless you got someone there to hold the dummies. But more seriously, you know, you need people participating for your institutions to work, and that's true of any size community. I mean, schools really are a reflection of the health of the community, and excellent schools can only exist with a healthy community. And so having people participate, whether it's on school boards or on the Education Foundation board, or as volunteers, or through a race like the Stampede, those are the things that create the conditions for schools to be very, very successful. The race in particular, there was a couple of things that led me to be part of it. One, I come from a running family. Instead of going to places like Disney World, on our family vacations, we went to 10-mile races and marathons to watch my dad run. And it was so ingrained to be a runner in my family that I was 48 years old before I had the courage to say there was never a run I enjoyed. But I finally broke through and said, this just isn't for me. But I still love road racing, and really admire those people that put in the time and effort to be distance runners, because it truly is a commitment. And I also very much admired the Sunrise Stampede. So, you know, the Sunrise Stampede was really one of the first races in Longmont. It's 35 years old, and the people who started it, the Sunrise Lions Club was the original founder, and Roger Lang, a former mayor, and Harold Schultz, a former postmaster in town, were really the energy behind the race. But they not only also loved public education, but really respected runners. And so the opportunity to carry on that legacy was something I couldn't pass up.
Yeah, and your bank did a great job helping out with your staff, obviously with the volunteers who are part of it too. And the education came into it about 4 or 5 years ago, and really made it an event about not only continuing the legacy that Roger and the other folks started with, but also just continue for the future. And so really appreciate the efforts you put forth with that too. Joe, I'm going to ask this question for you next. You ready?
I'm ready.
You ready? Okay, good. I think it's important for people to know who are watching this video that the Sunrise Stampede, yes, it's a 2-mile, 10K run walk race, but it's the means to an end, if you will. And the funds that are raised off of this event, 100% of the proceeds off this event go to teacher innovation grants for special needs and to support our special needs students. As current board president of education for St. Vrain Valley Schools, why is it important for organizations like the Education Foundation to support programs like special education in St. Vrain Valley Schools?
Thanks, Josh. You know, I think that ties in nicely to the question, you know, that we already answered. And John is absolutely right that schools are reflective of their communities, and we have an incredibly supportive community here in St. Vrain Valley School District, and that has created an opportunity for many, many programs and opportunities for children and students. But the Education Foundation, the way I see it is that you're enhancing those opportunities, and you're further going above and beyond to support teachers and students with special needs. And that might look like in a classroom, you know, it gives teachers an opportunity. I guess what I would say is it gives them an opportunity to innovate and to be creative and to think of an idea that they might like to implement or try in a classroom that, again, is focused 100% around the students' needs and benefiting those students, and then you're able to fund that. And that might be something that may not happen otherwise, despite our significant community support, again, above and beyond. So it's important to give teachers that opportunity and give students a chance to do some of those other things. You have some great stories on your website about children, you know, teachers who took children shopping, so learning some of those higher level skills in high school, life skills, so to speak, that are important for children to learn.
John, as you know, the Education Foundation's purpose with this race is to raise funds for the special education program in St. Vrain Valley Schools, specifically providing funds for our teacher innovation grants. Why is it important, do you think, being past board president of the education board of St. Vrain Valley Schools, but also being a community and business leader, why is it important for businesses and the community to support St. Vrain Valley Schools with these programs?
So I just want to build on what Joey commented on. We're very fortunate in St. Vrain that we have tremendous community support, not only in terms of time and energy, but in terms of dollars. Our taxpayers have supported several ballot measures to provide extra support to the schools. We've got tremendous management of our schools right now with the board and Don Haddad, the superintendent, that we are managing our dollars well. But the thing about education is that our expectations for public education continue to grow year over year over year. And quite frankly, it is not possible for public schools to meet all of the expectations that we are loading on top of them. And the only way to help with that is if the community gets into those places to provide some extra support. And special education, I would argue, is one of those places that it's very difficult to meet all of the expectations, in part because the federal government does not fulfill its promises of what it will provide in support. And so in order to kind of fill the gap left by federal government compared to what we're able to do locally, these extra dollars that the business community and others contribute to this, and the runners themselves who pay entry fees contribute to this, help us fill some of the gaps that are left, because there's always more you can do. I mean, that's the thing about education. There's always more you can do. And we have teachers that are always looking beyond what they're, prescribed to do, to say what more can we do. And these dollars help a little bit to help those teachers that are going above and beyond to reach those possibilities.
I think that's a great answer, and I'd also like to say too, the mission of our foundation is student success, teacher excellence, right? And these dollars are really helping provide seed money for ideas. And ideas are the start of anything. And we believe that maybe through those ideas could come the future of public education in our own little district here in St. Vrain Valley Schools. And for a foundation, that's exciting for us. But at the very least, we're helping provide some additional enhancement to the student experience too. And I think that's pretty special too. So thank you, we appreciate that.
Teachers go above and beyond in St. Vrain every single day. I mean, you're really just giving them an avenue to take that next additional step.
Our teachers are such an incredible
resources.
asset here in St. Vrain Valley Schools, everywhere, but our teachers, they set the standard here in St. Vrain Valley Schools, and last year we provided over $50,000 worth of grants to our teachers. It was over 100 grants, and a lot of that was special education, but we had general grants, and we had grants in the STEM area too. And Chad Lemons is a great story at Meade High School with his percussion ensemble group of special needs students.
Cool.
You mentioned that.
Oh, so cool.
And the idea of allowing our special needs students to have the opportunity to compete in marching band, but not only compete, but to showcase their skills at a football game or at an event, an activity, and to see the smiles on their faces is incredible.
It is. Honestly, if somebody wanted a reason to participate in the Sunrise Stampede, they should talk to him about the unified percussion. That right there, it's remarkable. It just is. To see the smiles on those kids' faces, their parents, to see them participating in activities that would be traditionally not for special needs children. It's so heartwarming.
Pretty amazing.
It's so amazing.
And that stemmed from an idea.
So
It stemmed from an idea, and it's just enhancing that experience through those extracurricular activities after school, right?
It's really entrepreneurship, right?
Yeah.
You're just providing seed money for ideas in the schools. Yeah.
So John, when it comes to sponsorships, obviously High Plains Bank has been a sponsor for many years with the Sunrise Stampede. the last couple years we've had Longmont United Hospital on as a premier sponsor. Why is it important for a company, or a hospital I should say, like Longmont United Hospital to be involved with an event like this?
Yeah, I think, I mean, we're really grateful to Longmont United Hospital for the support they provide, and one of the things that these corporate sponsorships do for the Education Foundation and for the race itself is there are costs to putting on a race. And without the stress of having to worry about the upfront costs by having these corporate sponsorships, a lot of energy can go into making the race a really great event for runners. And the number of runners that we bring in, then essentially every entry fee is a contribution to the special needs grant fund. And without the corporate support, so much more energy would have to be put into just raising the dollars to break even, that the race itself would be not what it is now. So they really, the businesses provide the foundation for the foundation. And we're just very grateful. And Longmont United Hospital's multi-year support takes a lot of pressure off in terms of planning. And so that just creates a lot more energy for making the event even better.
Yeah, not only did they commit to multi-years, but they really wanted to, through their health and wellness program, they wanted to support the students. And as part of their sponsorship, they offered to pay for up to 200 St. Vrain Valley students to participate in this event. Obviously, the taping and the timing of this video will be shown after the event, but I would say too that if you want to help with the cause, go to sunrisestampede.org and you can donate at that website, and we'll be awarding those grants later this fall.
So one thing I would just add, you know, as someone who helped to organize the Stampede, you can't do an event like this without a lot of volunteers. And I just want to say thank you to the volunteers. For decades now, St. Vrain staff have been the core of the volunteers for this race. They get up at 5 in the morning to be here to greet runners. They are spread out around the course to make sure that the runners are well cared for. And in addition to the longtime volunteers who are also St. Vrain employees, we've been very fortunate to have the Silver Creek Leadership Academy be active participants in the race in the last few years, and to have that energy from the young people to help get things done has been a big boost for all of us. And so without that, you know, none of this would be possible.
We're here at Silver Creek High School right now. I want to say thank you to Eric Finnestad as well for allowing us to come in here and tape this. I also want to give a shout out to Sean Corey and Paul Nelson, who are our co-chairs this year in the 2020 committee. It's been under trial and tribulations this year with COVID-19, but they have taken it with just enthusiasm and positivity, and really knowing that our mission with this race is to really help out those special needs students. And so I want to say thank you to both of you and to our committee for doing a fantastic job. I also want to take the opportunity to thank our incredible superintendent, Dr. Don Haddad, all of his staff, our teachers. Also would like to thank the Education Foundation for the St. Vrain Valley Board of Directors. They have been incredibly supportive. You may see, and we're going to give you a little bit of a snapshot, our masks today. Our foundation is actually moving to a new name effective here in a couple weeks to St. Vrain Valley Schools Education Foundation. And we're really trying to do that to really align with our district, to let the public know and the community know that the organization that we support is St. Vrain Valley Schools, and we want to really just make sure that we have that alignment a little bit better. And so, yeah, want to thank everyone for participating. Again, if you want to donate, go to sunrisestampede.org, and you can donate directly to the Education Foundation and Special Needs Grants. I want to introduce Dr. Don Haddad, Superintendent of St. Vrain Valley Schools. Just a short message to congratulate everyone. Again, I want to thank Don for his steadfast support of the Education Foundation and for all he does on behalf of our school district. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Don Haddad from the St. Vrain Valley Schools, the superintendent, and I just wanted to take a brief moment to recognize Mr. Josh Atherton and the Board of Directors for the St. Vrain Valley Schools Education Foundation. You just finished another outstanding Sunrise Stampede event, and I know that this is an annual event that you sponsor. It really is something special because the proceeds for this incredible event go to our special needs program to support our wonderful students with special needs and our teachers, and could not be more appreciative of the outstanding effort. And also to all of you who participated in the event, thank you for taking the time to do that. It's always great to get together with everybody, to get out there, get some fresh air, get some exercise, and to celebrate our students and our schools. So again, Josh, thank you. Board of Directors, to the Education Foundation for the St. Vrain Valley Schools, thank you. And to everyone who participated in our community, thank you very much. I appreciate it, and I wish you all the very best. Thanks a lot.
Next, I want to introduce Chad Lemons, who's Director of Bands over at Meade High School. Chad applied for a teacher innovation grant for special needs a few years ago, and our foundation awarded his Unified Percussion Ensemble to help with uniforms and band equipment. Chad is a phenomenal teacher and really has made it a focus to help our special needs students have opportunities like any other student. And so I want to commend Chad for his incredible work. I want to commend his students who have participated in the Unified program. Good job, and here's a short message about Chad.
Meade High School is proud to offer a musical ensemble designed for students in the Exceptional Learning Program. Put your hands together for the Meade High School Unified Percussion Ensemble.
My name is Chad Lemons, and I'm the Director of Bands at Meade High School. The Unified Percussion Ensemble is a collaborative class with students in the Exceptional Learning Program and mentor students that are already band students of mine in the band program. If anyone who sees their performance is just as thrilled as I am, and just kind of tickles your heart to see how exciting it is for them to be a part of that, for our students to be able to see the work that they put in as mentors to help new music students get out there and perform. The greatest thing about being the band director at Meade High School is just the community itself. To come here every day and to be a part of something where when all of these different students from many different areas come in, and when they step foot into our halls, we're Meade High School, it's something very special.
I hope you all enjoyed this video, this post-race video for the Sunrise Stampede. Obviously, we wish we could have had this race in person, but I think the next best option was for us to go to a virtual race and really just try to raise some money on behalf of our special needs programs and teacher innovation grants. And want to thank everyone who participated in this race virtually. I hope it was a great opportunity for you and your family to get out and to be active and to do it on behalf of Sunrise Stampede. Lastly, I want to thank all of our sponsors again, specifically Dr. Tina Johnson and the Longmont United Hospital staff for everything you've done for the sponsorship and really making sure that health and wellness remains and continues to be a priority for our community. Thank you very much.